Hello everybody, my name is ingeniousclown and welcome to Fruits of a Feather. This is a game that I found on itch.io and it promises to be a very relaxing experience. And that's kind of what I'm into right now, at this moment in time. So we have this little bird, it's telling us how to move. I'm not sure exactly what our goal is, but it's called Fruits of a Feather. I guess 0 of 192 is my progress. But yeah, I'm guessing our goal is to fly around this island and maybe find some fruit. We can fly through bushes. The art style is very relaxing on its own. And I'm using a controller, by the way, so we can move around with a controller. But yeah, there's not really much to say about this game. It looks like we just fly around and collect the fruits. This looks like it's going to be a little bit of a nightmare for anybody who happens to be a completionist. But that's not what the point of the game is. I'm sure they just put a goal in to make people feel like they're accomplishing something. Okay, so there is a speed up buttons. So I'm trying the right trigger. It seems like a good default. And then space, slow down. So I'm guessing that's left trigger. So we're getting the hang of these controls right now. And hopefully we don't run into the ground at all. Because that would be very bad for a bird. Oh, jeez. Skid along the ground. This is a very nice little atmospheric game. Now, I hope you're not expecting me to get all 100. Is that a No Man's Sky in the distance? Looks like a No Man's Sky in the distance. Anyway, the reason that I'm really looking to play a very relaxing game such as this right now, where it's not usually my normal fare, right? But you know what? This kind of gives me a good opportunity to, you know, just kind of have a little bit of a vlog sort of style of gaming, you know? Where you and I, you being the viewer, I being the guy who's speaking and creating this YouTube video at this very moment. And by this very moment, I mean probably sometime in the past by the time you're watching this video. You know what? That's not important. So yeah, like we could have a little bit of a discussion. We could just kind of talk about things. And I don't know, if I had a Q&A, this might be where I would do it, but I guess it'd be a little hard to play and do the Q&A at the same time. But you know what? I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know why I really want to do something like this. I just think it'd be nice to run into the ground as a helpless little bird and hopefully not injure him. Or her. I don't know what this bird is. Although I think bird is slang for attractive female in England, in Europe, in Britain, the United Kingdom. I don't know. It was a show called The In-Betweeners. I think that was the show. It was basically a show of awkward young adolescents. So there's no quicker way to turn around. If I could bank somehow, that'd be awesome. That'd be lovely. Yeah, it was a show called The In-Betweeners that I watched, and they said bird a lot. And they usually only said it when there was a particularly attractive lady walking by. So I imagine it's slang like that. I don't know if it's nice slang at all. I don't know. As far as it goes with social norms and like what's super acceptable and not, I'm not the best person to ask. Like you know, you generally have a good idea on what's good and what's bad. But for somebody who doesn't really spend a lot of time in social circles, it can be a little bit more difficult. You know, for introverts. You know, people who tend to spend more time on their own rather than with other people because other people are, in a sense, exhausting. That's me. It's not like I hate other people, you know? And I'm sure if you are an introvert as well, you don't hate other people. You just find it kind of tiring to interact with people. It doesn't come as naturally to you as it comes for some other people. Like, I know when I was growing up, especially when I was in high school, being an introvert, I've been an introvert, sorry, my whole life. I've been an introvert my whole life, and even growing up, especially, I would look at other people who I guess had an easier time interacting with my peers, who had an easier time expressing their feelings, expressing what they liked, getting excited over random thises or that's, and just generally seeming like they are enjoying life more than me. I would look at those people and I would just be like, man, I wish I could be as excitable or as passionate as that person. Now, I don't know if any of you have ever felt these things. I mean, these are all my personal feelings. I don't know why I'm... Why am I telling you this? This is just a game about a bird collecting fruit. It's giving me time to think, to wax philosophical, to talk about things that I normally wouldn't have an opportunity to talk about in normal gameplay. I forgot to go check out the No Man's Sky in the distance. We're gonna have to do that before the end of this video. But let's also go through this cave. Whoa, there's cave fruit. That's nice. That's cool. But yeah, that was high school. I mean, even in college for me, that was my experience. Just wishing that I was more sociable, more extroverted, more outgoing, more free to express myself, my feelings, and what I wanted to do, what I wanted to say, and not just be stuck inside my own head my whole life. That's not something that I wanted for myself. It was stifling. And it's not like I hated being an introvert, because being an introvert it's who I am. It's who I've grown up as, it's who I've become. And I don't mind it at all. You know, I like me. And I think that's important. Like, it's one thing to be envious of somebody else. It's another thing to hate yourself. And that's not what I'm about. You don't want to hate yourself. You don't want that level of regret. You don't want to look back on your life and be like, I could have done better. Because hindsight is 20/20. You always could have made better decisions if you just knew what those decisions would have turned out to be. And whether or not your life right now is what you wish it would be, whether or not your goals are near to you or far, everything in your life has led up to who you are today. And there's somebody who likes that person. There's somebody that person has affected in some meaningful way. It may not be apparent to anybody in the moment. But what is life but a series of events? Everything that anybody does affects the world in some seemingly inconsequential way that may ripple out to become something incredibly meaningful. It's all about the butterfly effect, and I don't mean that movie with Ashton Kutcher, although I really do enjoy that movie, even though I guess movie critics dislike it for some reasons. I don't know. I don't consider myself a movie critic. I don't have that kind of analytical knowledge when it comes to dissecting movie stories and whatnot. As much as I like to think that I do, I absolutely don't. I recognize that. But anyway, it's all about the butterfly effect, you know? Everything you do is going to affect something in some way, even if it's just yourself. If you choose to step with your right foot instead of your left foot, maybe that will cause you to stub your toe, which will change your outlook for the rest of the day, which may change the way you interact with people throughout the rest of the day. Maybe it'll make you be a little more mean. And maybe being mean to just this one person who happens to be in line at Kroger's or your grocery store of choice changed what they did. Like, maybe it made their day, which may have been bad, a little bit worse. And you know what? Let's try and go a little more positive with this. Maybe you stubbed your toe, and instead of it making you bitter, what it did was make you feel like, oh hey, I'm having a little bit of a bad day, so I'm gonna go out of my way to make other people feel awesome. So maybe you go into Kroger, and you see a cashier who looks like maybe he's having a bad day. You crack a joke at him. You make him smile a little bit. Maybe his day's just a little bit better. I don't know, life is made up of little moments like that. And these little moments can just, they can make everything. I haven't had a particularly hard life myself. I've always been a bit of a nerd, and I've never had a huge group of friends. But I've never really had any hard times either. So know that when I'm saying all of this, I might be coming from probably, admittedly, a bit of a privileged position. But I still believe everything that I'm saying. Life is made up of these moments that affect you, that affect everybody around you. And the little things can make all the difference. There's a lot of fruit in this No Man's Sky over here. Slow down. I was hoping to get all of these in one swoop. It did not work out for me. Yeah, I always try to be nice to everybody. I mentioned earlier that I'm not the most extroverted person in the world. So, creating those little moments for people to make them smile, it doesn't come very naturally to me. And believe it or not, that's one of the reasons why I started this YouTube channel. Not this YouTube channel, but I guess the other one, considering this is my second one. The reason I started the channel is partially because I wanted to be in entertainment in some form or some capacity. I wanted to entertain people and make them smile. But the other half of that side is a little more selfish. Knowing that I am probably a socially inept introvert. I guess inept is not the best word. While I'm not socially adept, I'm not completely inept either. I can recognize most social cues. I'm not completely dumb when it comes to social interactions. I've definitely seen much worse. But it's not the easiest thing for me to do to just kind of be like an extrovert, to act like an extrovert, to make a joke to the person in the line of Kroger, to make them smile a little bit, to make somebody who may or may not be having a bad day. Look, I don't know this person. I randomly ran into them in the middle of the shopping line at Kroger. But I don't know what the context of their day is like. I don't know if that person is a jerk, or if he's just a shy guy stuck in his shell, or if he's had a bad day at work. I don't know if he's just fighting some sort of addiction, or if he's fighting with himself to do things that he wants to do, or if he's chasing his dreams, or if he's just been declined a job offer. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't. All that matters to me is, like, if I can make this person smile for just 2 seconds, maybe his day will be a little better. I guess that comes back to why I perhaps started this channel, or these channels, is to make myself better at these spontaneous moments, at these little moments. Because growing up as an introvert, all the way through college, even in my just day-to-day life now, I'm still very much an introvert. But through starting this channel, through taking myself out of my comfort zone and just deciding that I have these dreams, I have these aspirations, I have these things that I want to do with my life. Like voice acting, like entertaining. By taking myself out of my comfort zone and just doing them. Singing especially. Singing is one of the most terrifying things, socially, that I've ever started to try to do. By just taking myself out of my comfort zone into these strange spaces. These places that, as far as I was concerned, didn't ever exist in my world. By putting myself in these positions, I've kind of changed my... what do I want to say? I don't want to say I changed my personality, because my personality is still very much my own. But I've changed the way that I interact with the world in some meaningful way. I'm more prone to say yes to social invites. I'm more prone to be a little more sociable in gatherings with my peers. So, like, go out of my way, say hi to people in the lines of Kroger. Kind of make a joke about how we all go to this line that looks like it's going to be a really short line. I mean, we've all been in this situation, right? We go to a really short line, but it turns out that that line was a trap, because the line next to you, that's flying. But you're stuck. You haven't moved in like 2 minutes. You don't really have anywhere to be, but you haven't moved, and that's a little frustrating. But instead of being frustrated, you could just make a joke out of it. You can make yourself laugh a little bit. You can try to make the guy next to you laugh a little bit. Even if the guy next to you doesn't laugh a little bit, maybe the fact that you are taking this situation so lightly can help him just kind of let a load off a little bit. I don't know, I feel like I've been talking in circles this whole time. I haven't really said much. I've just kind of been saying the same thing over and over again. I don't know, if any of you have, like, stayed through this whole video and listened to me just pontificate, thanks for sticking around. We accomplished literally nothing. We gained like half the fruits. Actually, that's exactly half, isn't it? We've gained exactly half of the fruits. But you know what? It's the little things. This was nice. Also, this cloud looks completely cubic. That's unnatural. Appreciate the little moments, is what I'm trying to say. Don't be afraid to take yourself out of your comfort zone and create those little moments. Don't be afraid to change your own outlook on life. I don't mean to sound like a hipster or any like new agey nonsense-y thingy, I don't know. I just think there's a lot of power in positivity. I'm in the ground now. Let's keep going. Or not. I skipped off the water. Alright, well, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, if you made it all the way through this video, awesome. Thanks for sticking around. If you didn't, well then you're not listening to this right now. And that's okay. You probably had better things to do. But I hope all of you that listen to me just kind of talk with no aim, with no goal, got something out of it. Whether it be a moment of enjoyment, or whatever else. Like, I don't know. I don't know why people watch my videos. Frankly, I'm surprised that I have the fan base that I do. But those of you... whatever. I'm gonna stop. I'm just gonna stop. Thanks for watching. It's been fun. I hope you enjoyed this little moment as much as I did. And I will see you next time.